Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. I'm not going to lie. One of my favorite things is when I see my guest speakers jam into my intro song.
I know. It's got like a good energy. I'm like, okay, this is good.
I love it. For those of you that are jumping on live now, we appreciate you being here and supporting Nichole, her journey, and the Her Version platform. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. So today I am hanging out with Miss Nichole Howard. Nichole is everything you would want in a professional photographer. She is creative and passionate about her work, but this picture perfect life was not always so picture perfect. Divorced parents, experimentation with drugs early in life led to a really low GPA in her first attempt at college, along with a whirlwind of other things that life has thrown at her. Nichole has proven to have resilience and drive, graduating school with her master's degree and becoming a sensation in the world of photography. She is now helping women find their voice through pictures, empowering branding and showcasing storytelling through the camera lens. We are excited to know more. Welcome, Nichole. I want to ask, one of the biggest issues that I come across with clients is them recognizing that there's an issue. So we have people watching live right now and they're like, cool, Nichole, got it. You were in a little bit of a slump. Now you're out of the slump. Good on you.
Yeah.
My situation's really shitty. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know like the first step I'm supposed to take towards whatever life you're talking about. So I kind of want to ask, in your personal experience, through your personal journeys, when you're in kind of like a challenge, what are some things that kind of come up for you that you kind of look back and you're realizing, hey, this is like the first, second, third, or whatever step that I take towards a better mindset? Do you have something like that?
Sure. So depending upon what you're experiencing and what you're going through, right? Like if you're obviously really depressed, really anxious, like in a really dark place, it may feel hard, but the first thing you need to get help. Like I can't, like, for that, like there needs to be a line, right? You need to call, you need to get yourself out there, please.
Okay.
Like that I think is important, right? So like these steps don't necessarily address that. Like that you may need actual help for, and it's okay to accept the help, get the help.
Yeah.
Really important.
Okay.
Like Brene Brown talks about it. She's like, the first thing, like shame is so dark, and it's something that people usually, when they're acting out and doing something really, I guess we would frown upon, right? Like drinking heavily, like going out and like just getting blackout drunk, and then say cheating, right? And then you're super depressed and anxious that you did that. Really, usually you're acting out of a place of shame or a place of like really darkness, right?
Okay.
The best thing to bring the shame out to the light is to call a friend and talk to them about it. And acknowledge, oh, I'm experiencing shame. This is shame. This is shame, right? And shame is not, I did a bad thing. That's guilt. Shame is, I'm a bad person. There's a very distinct difference there.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like really judgment on yourself, so it's like the best thing you need to do, she says, is like call a friend, someone you trust, and talk about it. That's why these stories are so important, because it brings the shame out in the light, and shame doesn't live there.
Yeah.
Right? It can't live in the darkness. So, and that's where a lot of these really bad feelings that like we all try to escape, we all have our mechanisms for doing that, live, right? So inside our minds. So if you get it out, if you tell your story to somebody you trust, or in a forum like this, once you've kind of healed some of the stuff and you can talk about it, do it, put it out there. Cause the more you do that, the more it kind of just eradicates it and just gets it out.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I would say like, yeah, depending on what you're dealing with, I mean, I don't know. And then get curious, right? Like get curious about yourself, get to know yourself. Like, you know, if there's any inkling, like you're like, you know what, I kind of like taking pictures. Like go take your iPhone because everybody has a camera these days, right? Like on their person and go walk in your block and take some pictures and see how it feels, right? Like, did you enjoy it? Like, and if you enjoyed it, say, oh, how can I do more of that? Just take
Yeah.
little tiny steps, like little tiny baby steps
Yeah.
towards what you like. If it's dancing, right? If it's writing, like just there's so much free stuff out there too. Oh my gosh, to learn like, you know, Google is incredible, and there's a bunch of people who want to give to you, right? They want to help you.
Yeah.
So I would say like first, like if you're dealing with something dark, you know, or something really heavy, deal with that. But if you're just like trying to get yourself from one place to another, and you're not really sure how, like you're in a place you're not like really happy, you're not sure how to like start getting happy. It's like get curious about yourself and what you like, and then start trying to take little mini steps to explore that, whatever that is.
That's great. Awesome.
Hopefully that helps. I don't know if that's simple enough, but
Yes.
it's not like an easy like 1, 2, 3, but it's like a bunch of stuff that I've used.
Yes, 100%. What do you think is the number one lesson you've learned about life?
The more I grow and learn, the less I know.
The more you grow
And learn, the
and
less I know.
the
The
less.
reason for that is, and it's funny, I think let me explain that a little more. But if we think about it, right, like, oh God, like this world, there is just like I don't know that much, right? Like I know about photography, sure, like, and there's an ever evolving amount to learn, even in that stratosphere, right?
Yeah.
And I remember being really young and thinking I knew a lot, right? And then the more I've expanded my knowledge, right, about people, places, and things, we'll just keep super basic, the more I've realized there's so much to know.
Yeah.
Like in this earth, about this planet, about this galaxy we live in, like there is just so much I don't know. And I think that, you know, the more that I expand, I get to keep expanding and learning and growing into what's possible. Like that just leaves there's so much that's possible. So yeah, I would say that, you know.
Definitely. 100%. And it's interesting how much we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like even just if you talk about even just photography, like I have
Yeah.
no idea.
There's tons to learn, and I love that. I love it, right? I love to dig right into that, right? I'm a member of the Photographers Association of America, and it's amazing because there's all these other photographers just willing to teach each other what they know about business, about different lenses, about, you know, how to create a certain look or feel in a picture. And there's so much to learn just in that arena alone, right? I mean, we're not even talking about physics or, you know, anything out there that's like, I mean, I can't even think about like some of the stuff that, you know, physicians do every day. Like,
Yeah.
no idea. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a huge realm of possibility, right? And I think that just reminds you to like, there's just so much that's possible. There's so much out there. Like, don't limit yourself, right? Don't like stop yourself from expanding and learning. There's just so much to take in and there's so much to explore, right? So like, don't give up. There's tons of options for everybody. Like, there's a lot of possibility for you.
Yeah. And I love how you're saying that because if we were talking earlier about self-development and how important it is for people to you know start figuring themselves out a little bit. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. So I just got done saying like photography, I don't know anything about photography. Like I can take a picture on my phone, but like I don't know anything about lighting or exposure, zero. It's the same thing with personal development. And
Mm-hmm.
so we think we know things. Like I think I know how to take a picture because I have an iPhone. But then
Right.
there's a whole other world that you're aware
Huge.
of. Yes. That like
Exactly my point. Yep.
understand. So like when we're talking about self-development, that's the exact same thing. Like we're in life right now. So we think, yeah, I got it down. Life, got it.
Yeah.
Check.
Cool. Cool.
But
I'm
there's this
here.
whole yeah,
There's
there's
this whole world. I mean, I was a project manager before I was a photographer.
uh-huh.
And I was a global project manager where I worked with people in Australia, in Shanghai, in
Oh,
Barcelona, in Mexico City, right? And the interesting thing about it, right, is like if you look at any single product or thing that you use every day, like where that even came from, right? What it took to get that in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Like I watched that cycle. And I think that showed me how many people, how many experts are needed to do that just for one thing. Just for one thing.
Yeah.
Right? And it just shows you just this huge realm of this world that we create every day and what's possible and all the things that need to come together just to get us in front of each other, right? And I think for me, it's just a reminder of like the stuff that we take for granted, but like it's also this cool ability to like think about what's possible, right? And like what you can create, what I can create is kind of cool. So I don't know. That's just kind of what brought me to that, I think, conclusion too.
You're
But
so right with that. Like, even just think of something as simple as a book. Like the ink,
paper, the ink.
or and then so, like, the ink doesn't disappear like it does on our grocery receipts, like, it stays there for hundreds of years or, like, 100
Mhm. How the
and
book is bound,
yeah.
the type of cover, the picture that goes on the cover. How much work just goes into because I do that, right? I've photographed for the cover of different books.
Yeah.
Like, so much just goes into that one piece of that whole
Yeah.
product that's gonna be delivered to a person. It's crazy. Yeah, it's incredible, right? It's incredible, but it's also yeah, it's mind-blowing at times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it also shows community.
Right, and that we need everybody. We need all the expertise, right? You need it
Yeah.
all. So, yeah.
Wow, that was great. Absolutely.